Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cookies Enabled. I am Will, your host. My computer may be frozen. Sure, if you can see me at the moment, but there we go. Now it's back up. Hopefully things are going good for you guys. We have a very interesting show for you guys today. Some really cool topics and some really futuristic topics because we're really hitting on some things that are really coming out the gate here. I mean, we're going to be talking about E3 and Windows 11 and a bunch of things. We also are hitting on some topics that we've already hit on other episodes as well. But now we have even more detailed evidence to kind of back our theories up here. So here we go. Our first thing here is, Andrew, you said that we have some SpaceX news. They haven't been too busy, but there's something going on that we should be paying attention to that might be happening soon, apparently. So I am excited to hear about this. Didn't know if there was any specific news that you had about SpaceX or launches possibly coming up.
We haven't seen much from them lately. All the routine launches are still
Right.
going perfectly fine. They're doing that all the time.
Yeah.
So that's really nothing new.
Mm.
But right now, it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing any more test flights of any of the starships without the super heavy booster. Otherwise, I think we would have had one
Yeah.
by now with SN-15 landing
Right. Right.
successfully. Um, it feels like they probably have all the data they need and they're ready for the next step. So now it's getting the booster ready. Reports from Texas, we're seeing the launch
Okay.
tower. It's similar to the launch tower that they have at Pad
Right.
39A or the previous one that they used for all of the NASA
Sure.
missions, the space shuttle, and all of that. So that's under construction. That's going to be something big. And they're stacking one of the super heavy test boosters right
Ooh.
now.
Okay.
That's what we're waiting to see. From what it looks like, though, we're not so much waiting on SpaceX. Well, sort of. They have to file some environmental reports
Right.
with a few different organizations, um, mainly because this is such a large rocket. It'll be over twice the thrust power of the Saturn V. So they have to prove that it's not going to be a detriment to property, wildlife, everything like that, even for a test flight. Again, that's why they're building these floating launch
Right.
platforms, because once it is running completely, it will be too big to launch safely from Boca Chica. You'd have to do it way out in the middle of
Right. Right.
nowhere.
Okay.
And Pad 39A is not capable of that. I mean, that's designed for, I mean, they already have their launch tower for astronauts
Right.
and
Right.
everything. Not that sort of test. Maybe eventually, I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
But
Hopefully, we
I
get to
think
see
we're
something from it.
basically waiting on that, and getting approval could take a little bit
Right.
longer. They've been aiming for a July launch, but it doesn't look, unless somehow the strings are pulled and they can get approval, it'll probably be a little later July, maybe early August, that we get a full booster flight
Right. Right.
test. We'll see what happens. So yeah, there's not too much coming out from there
Okay.
right now, but they are working to it. Once they have the booster built and do some static tests, I think that's when we'll start to see things
Right.
ramping up there.
So hopefully,
So a lot happening behind the scenes right
that's
now.
yeah, and that's exactly kind of what I wanted to hit at is that just because we're not having launches and stuff for primary new stuff, that doesn't mean there's not stuff going on. They're doing a lot more on the ground, behind the scenes kind of things that we probably aren't even noticing, which is exciting. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go in the future for SpaceX, and I think it'll be probably in the next probably month or so here. We'll probably see hopefully another major launch anyway. And if they do,
Well, we'll at
we will
least
keep you
know
posted.
we'll have information on
Right.
it. So
Awesome. So, not a lot of SpaceX news, but we do have other space news. So we got some interesting new. I mean, we talked about black holes in the past here. I guess is really where I should start with this. A few episodes ago on our What's New Wednesdays, we talked about black holes. I should probably do a main episode on black holes because we've got a lot of new science and information and whatnot on them. and they're very misunderstood, I feel like. But we got some really cool images straight from NASA. We kind of showed one of these images in the past, but now it's the actual GIF, so it'll actually move for you and show what we were talking about. Now, I didn't read the article behind these GIFs, though, unfortunately, but I do have the website posted, or it will be posted in our source links afterwards anyway. So if you are interested as to where we got these, hopefully I can get one to pop up. There we go. Okay, so this is the one that I kind of showed last time, but now it actually flips it vertically 360, so you can kind of see how the sphere is almost bending in on itself, but at the same time protruding back out, you know, almost as like a Mobius strip is kind of another way to look at this.
Well, you're seeing the disk around the black hole is
Yeah.
flat. And as you see it rotate, what you're seeing is the light bending around the gravitational
Yeah.
forces that black hole creates. So it looks like it's spinning, but it's not. Basically, I mean, the animation watch the accretion
Exactly.
disk is pretty
Yeah.
accurate, but as it rotates, you can see that light bending just from the extreme gravity
Exactly.
at the
I have
center
a
of that.
we have this other one here. Here we go.
These
This is a
are
little
computer
further out.
animations. We are not quite at the point of getting a photo this good.
Oh no.
But
Oh no.
again, they're using the same science and same math and everything that they discovered when from Interstellar. Again, some of the papers that were written to show what a black hole would actually look like. They're kind of taking it to the next step in these images.
Yeah, it's really, it's essentially you just building a computer model. You give it all the physics that it needs to create this kind of, eliminated black hole, and then you give it the images to stretch over all of that math, and then poof, this is what it came up with. And this is exactly what we have taken photos of. I mean, close. I mean, the photos that we've gotten are so blurry, and they're really almost not really even a photo. That's a really rough word to use there as well, because it's not really a photo. It's more or less like an infrared image of the radioactivity being discharged from the black hole is actually what we're looking at, and that's how we know where they're at. You know, so that's a trick in itself, and that's why I should probably do a whole episode on this. It's not visible light necessarily that is coming out. And technically, I think, is it when they turn into a quasar, or is that when the star crushes itself into the quasar, it discharges the light, and then it becomes the black hole? I always get that part wrong. I probably have that science all screwed up or something like that.
Well, you have pulsars, you have quasars. It really
Yeah.
depends on the mass of the star and if
Okay.
it has enough mass to collapse in on itself and create a black hole.
Right.
That's
Otherwise, yeah.
one of the keys. If it doesn't, it'll usually shrink down to like you've got a dwarf star or
Right.
a pulsar or something like that, where it just wasn't quite big enough to, get that infinite gravity at the center.
Just a little bit more. But I love these images. I think these are probably the closest that we're gonna get, not in our lifetime maybe, but probably in the next 20 years, of like of an actual representation of what a black hole looks like. And I think this is a great way of showing the physics behind it as well. I love how it kind of loops in on itself. It looks like a screensaver or something. You know what I mean? Like,
It's gonna end up being my next live wallpaper for my phone.
might as well. Might as well. It is really cool. And I never get tired. It's like watching a fire. You never get tired of looking at it. It's very, very cool. So if you have any questions on that, I'll post the links in the source links for you guys if you want to take a look at that website and do some more research on that and where they got that idea and how they applied that science and stuff. Really cool. I think I showed all the blank. I think I had. I have one more image. I'm sorry. So this one takes up most of the screen here, but it's because it's got actual details explaining kind of what we were just pointing out here. You got your Doppler beams and the image of the disk on the far side, and the photon rings, the black hole shadows, all that jazz. So this is really important. This is the science that we were trying to describe, and this is kind of how they programmed the images and whatnot to kind of function together here. So that's really what you're looking at. That's what a black hole really kind of is, and it's how it's floating around in space. Really cool stuff. This is all on that website. I will definitely share that with you guys, but didn't want to miss that image. That's a pretty cool image. So awesome. Now E3 is going on right now, and let me get that image up here. We got a lot of news with E3. Technically, you're gonna hear us whine and complain probably a lot during this E3 season. I mean, we love E3. Don't get me wrong. Especially this year, E3's been needed. It's long overdue. It was canceled last year. I mean, they kind of did a virtual thing, but it was just them releasing game news, and that was pretty much it. There wasn't any news. So far, we've seen Microsoft do their press release. As always, they're usually the first or last out of the gate, and this time they were first. Nintendo was actually second, which is actually kind of rare. Usually they're last, usually with big news, and they had nothing big, really. Sorry, all the Nintendo fans out there. They didn't really have anything big, unfortunately.
Yeah, Andy is absolutely pissed off about that. No new Switch Pro, whatever.
No Switch Pro, no folding Switch, no nothing like that.
Breath of the Wild 2, which didn't really apparently show much. I watched it. I thought it looked cool.
It does. It looks cool.
It wasn't anywhere the caliber that I think people were expecting.
No.
There were a lot of rumors, and so that
I think the rumors is what crushed.
They didn't do anything for Zelda 30th anniversary. They did that with Mario last year. I don't know why they didn't do that with Zelda this year, unless
I think that's going to be a bombshell.
Just going to in October drop a bunch of stuff without telling anybody anything.
That's exactly what I think they're going to do. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they'd want to do it at E3, but I don't know, maybe 2% chance that they just say, "Oh, hey, by the way, next week this is coming out."
Right. Yeah. But that's pretty rare too, especially for Nintendo. That usually happens with Microsoft. They get a slip up here and there or something,
But they are extending the release of Breath of the Wild 2. I want to say it was December of 22, so a year and a half away.
Ouch! Wow.
So, I mean, I'm sure that COVID probably messed up some of their timelines. I mean, it did with a lot of other companies, even with E3 not being around last year.
Right.
So hopefully within that year and a half between now and then, they'll do a lot of work and it will be something, just breathtaking.
Right.
I know a lot of people were really, really disappointed with what Nintendo did coming out of the gate. Yeah, Microsoft, on the other hand, killed it.
Okay, I gotta say, Microsoft aced it, even though it was, again, no new hardware, nothing. It was all reinforcing the backbone to Xbox and what makes their games and connecting the PC gamers back to the console gamers. That's really what their focus was, I feel like, this time, was kind of pushing that live connection, as they call it. And enforcing the power of their console. I mean, it's impressive, I gotta say. And like Forza 5 looks fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited for that. I got Forza 5 in the background here. Horizon 5 looks really good. That's the new one that's coming out, and I think it looks amazing. I'm super excited. I've been really hoping they'd come out with another Horizon game. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you.
Flight Sim, the new Flight Sim looked really nice too. Yes. And I guess running on just standard Xbox hardware, so they're really making some strides with efficiency with some of these games, and it looks like it looks pretty much real from
I
the
think
images
we might
that I
see
saw.
A little play here on backwards compatibility. I think we may see some of these games pop up on Xbox One as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S because they're just so hard to get still. They really have no other option. If they want to make a huge scale of money, then you got to release it on a bunch of different consoles. So I think they're going to release it on Xbox One through the current gen for probably the majority of the games we're going to be seeing. And if they don't happen right away with the backwards compatibility, it'll probably be a few months after like the Series X release comes out. They'll mod it for the Xbox One or something. Just turn off ray tracing and pull back on a few scaling things, and poof, it'll work on an Xbox One. That's really what the One can't do, is the detailed, mirrored reflections and stuff. It cannot keep up with that. It would probably burst into flames if it tried. I don't know. I know my little black box probably would back here.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I think we will see that. Nintendo's been good with that. But they don't really have a lot of other systems to bounce off of right now. It's really just the Switch and the DS. But did they even show DS stuff for E3?
I'm not sure. I wasn't able to catch all of it. I
Yeah,
heard a
I didn't
lot of it
either, unfortunately.
secondhand. So,
I didn't read any
oh,
news about
and
it.
it says no, they did not. So
Wow. Okay. Okay. So
surprising.
I think we will see another press release from Nintendo sometime, probably early fall, that will be
I feel
detailing
like they're going to
what
have to
they
at this
left
point,
out.
now that everybody's upset with them.
Right.
They're
Right.
going to have to do some sort of damage control after
Yeah. I
that.
mean,
Again, I don't know.
ouch.
Um,
Ouch.
Microsoft,
Nintendo.
though, the other thing I noticed, I see a lot of cross-platform
Yes.
capability between
Yes.
PC. Like with Flight Sim, a lot of people,
Yep.
they have a whole rig with the joysticks
Exactly.
and the chair, and
Yeah. And
again,
yeah.
seeing that's really going to help out.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a big play for the future of Xbox, to stay relevant. Really, why do you want to buy this console at home? Because I can also play this game mobile, and I can also play it on my computer, and I can also play it on my laptop. But it's also just using my home system again as that like mini server, to kind of keep my games up to date. And you're also using the Microsoft servers, which are probably the best in the world, or close to, as of right now. And we haven't even talked about Sony yet, which again hasn't had their press conference, but I guarantee that they will probably have some kind of PlayStation 5 redesign showcased, and maybe a possible date as to when you'd be able to purchase the redesign. I'm not saying it's a slim model. I don't think it's going to be a slim anything, because everybody knows that's usually where they go, is they'll release the giant bulky nasty looking thing and then a slim version 2 years later. I think they will do a slim version of PlayStation 5. I just don't think it'll be now, so, and I think we will see more crossplay between Sony and Microsoft too, network-wise, because they tried to do that more with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So we'll see where that goes. I know that's more up to the developers. If the developers want to deal with the coding nightmares of getting their servers to play nicely with both Microsoft and Sony, which are not fun to do apparently, as far as I have read, it is a developer nightmare, just working with but one of the two. So
but if they get enough incentive from Microsoft or Sony, it can be worth it.
Exactly.
Just from a sales standpoint,
Yep.
they could be able. I don't know. When is Sony doing their?
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought it was later today, but I was not able to find it. Let me pull up their website again and see if I can find it here really quickly. E3 Expo. Because it might be going on right now. I might honestly be missing it. I'm not 100% sure. But I think they're going to have some pretty big games up their sleeve this year. I'm really expecting Sony to kind of pull into the lead. Actually, they're not listed under Pinnacle. We have Nintendo and Xbox, and that is it. So Sony is probably not doing they're not listed on here at all. They are doing something different, apparently. So we haven't heard from Sony, and apparently we're not gonna hear from Sony, which is really surprising. I am stunned by that news now. That's why we haven't heard anything from them, because they're not coming to E3 this year. Maybe they're going to CES 2021. I don't know why you'd want to. I mean, they could be, but that's not really a gaming convention, so I'm not really sure what's happening there. But a little bit of a downside with Nintendo not releasing any kind of hint to new hardware, or even just improving like just their Nintendo marketplace. I feel like, I mean, they got some great games coming, but so far Microsoft's totally stolen the show, which is excellent. I mean, this is not what I expected, and usually they're the ones getting dogged and so now they're the Shining Char.
Putting all this together for E3, and then we've got their Windows 11 press conference on the 24th.
Yeah, about a week and a half away. Yeah.
Then we have Apple's WWDC. Which I'm really excited.
Oh my God, yes, they got some big news too.
I want to see what Windows 11 is going to be a bit like. They've been teasing it.
Yes.
Apparently, they released a video of a lot of the old opening, like the startup sounds
Oh
from
yeah, yeah.
95 on
I did get
at
to hear the new one too.
400% slowed down. So it's like a 7-minute video just for like, they wanted it to be like
Oh,
relaxing, meditative
okay.
music, which was
Yes.
interesting. But we're going to hear what Windows 11's new sound is going to be soon.
Yes.
And I just read while we were setting up today, they've officially said support for Windows 10 is going to end in 2025.
Yes, it is. Yes, they have an
So
official ending
11 has
date
got
for
to be coming
Windows
out soon.
10. Yes. Don't panic, everybody. Doesn't mean oh my god, put my hair on, I gotta get it. It just means that you won't be able to run this software forever. This is what they've always done with their software. I guess we're kind of switching into the Windows 11 gear, which because there is some leaked footage of Windows 11 that is official,
Yeah.
technically speaking, of the software and what it's going to look like. So I got some images for you guys here, but yeah, they do have the sound on the website, and the source that I play, they have the startup sound that I put.
Oh, okay.
And Microsoft officialized it by reposting it onto Twitter, apparently. So, and it sounds to me a lot like what you'd hear on like a phone or a tablet, like a kind of like a two-tone, like doo doo, kind of like your phone's awake kind of thing. It's nothing like a huge orchestra was not needed to make this sound bit.
Not like that was the XP sound. I
Yes.
like that
Oh, I
one,
love
honestly.
that one. Yeah. And then it had a different XP had a different tone for every theme, which was even cooler.
I remember that.
That was one reason why I really liked it, and everybody loved how personal it was. Like that there was a
It was a
train
big
theme, and
breakthrough for Microsoft. Like
yeah.
they kind of started fresh with that. Then they said that Windows 10 was going to be the last Windows, but I guess not.
No,
Like
no,
it's going to
I knew
keep
that would shoot him
changing
in the foot.
Windows 10.
You can't
Yeah,
come
at some
out and
point.
say that this is the final anything in a software world. That doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't work for anything.
I mean, even
Cher tried
Google
that
has changed.
20 years ago.
You
saying,
can't. It's
I'm
not.
not making any more albums. This is my last tour, Cher's farewell tour, and she's still going.
Thank you. Exactly.
So
Yes. Oh no!
when
Thank you
they
for
say
tuning
this
in,
is the
Alvy.
last,
I appreciate the comment. I just saw. I know we were late today. My computer again had to do a Windows update, which hopefully will be a thing of the past with Windows 11. Fingers crossed there, because wow, this thing should not have taken that long to update. But Windows 11 leaked. I think somebody was running a beta version of it, and it looked pretty solid. To be honest with you, I used to do beta testing for Microsoft with their operating systems. They used to let pretty much everybody download it and test it out, and then comment on it. Then you could revert back to whatever version of Windows you were using before, kind of like an overlay to your machine. But this looked like a legitimate version. Now I did get this awesome GIF. And this is something you already have with Windows. If you've had Windows really 7 all the way to 10, you've had the ability to shrink your screen down and pin windows to certain sides of the screen. But you've never been able to do this. So now when you click on the, if you're going to kind of close the window, you go up into the right-hand corner. You've got your minimize button, maximize button, and a closeout button. If you click that maximize button, now it gives you an option menu where you can select full screen, just half the screen, and then or all 4 quadrants, and you can even click what quadrant of the screen you want it in, and then it'll just shrink the window down into that part. So that's what I'm showing you in this GIF. For me, this is awesome. This is just saving more time. It's less dragging of windows around my screen to get them to resize themselves. Now it's just click, it's there. It did it for me. I didn't have to drag it around. I am in love. This is exactly
now it
what I
does
like.
look clean.
Yes.
The operating system does look clean.
You'll also
I
notice
get
the
what you
windows
mean
are
about
curved.
them
Curved windows are back. So
trying to look a little Mac-ish.
yes, yes.
Looking at the bottom, all
Yes.
all of your icons on the taskbar in the center
of the
looks
task.
awfully like Apple's dock.
Exactly. And as you open Windows, it gets bigger and bigger, and as you close them, it shrinks and shrinks. And again, if you've got Windows 10, it already kind of does this, but it does it from the left, and then it extends out.
Yeah,
and
they
closes.
always would go over, but
And it does still
center,
give you that option.
that's
You can still move that start menu back to the left if you want to. they do give you that flexibility. Pretty much like all Windows, you can customize it as much as you want, which is one reason why I prefer Windows, is because I
And you
can
get the weird
customize the
people that
crap out of
move
it.
their taskbar to the side, though. Like,
Yeah,
that's always confused me. Like, no.
no, I don't know. But the overall look of the window looks great. Now I'm going to pull up my web page here, and this had E3 on it. This is, again, the start menu. So, again, they're showing you the little about sign showing that this is an official Windows 7 release. And when you click your start button, which is still there right next to your search icon, now it pops up a way refined version of what apps that you are using. Again, it could be a Windows app, or it could be a program that you've installed on your machine that is popping up here. So you have Xbox and Solitaire and Office and News, and so you've got different things pinned there, and you can change this, customize it. You've got a recommended section, which is probably using the Windows AI to kind of pull up your most used files and things, just to kind of have them ready for you there. And yes, you will be able to customize and change that if you don't like how it looks. I kind of don't like it. It looks a little clunky to me, but I could definitely get used to it. Here's another little GIF that they show of a guy popping up the start menu here. Sorry, the quality is terrible. But again, I
And in
will
the
post
public
this. This is
release,
on
I'm
The
sure it will
Verge.
be cleaned up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
The notification center looks almost identical to what we already have with Windows 10. Not surprised by that at all. And they also did not seem to change the control panel or settings panel. And I think they did that as a favor to the user. So that way we weren't totally in shock value like what happened with Windows 8 with the start menu. And everybody was like, oh my God, we've never seen this
whereas,
before. What happened? And it
it's
really
like
just
it's like going into the store and overnight they've moved everything around and you don't know where it is
yes,
anymore.
yes.
Yeah,
That's exactly what happened here.
it's upsetting.
So The Verge did allow a picture of what it looks like with the start menu on the left side. And I think this looks very classic to what a Windows 10 already looks like. And actually mine kind of does stuff like this. I have my icons and widgets and things running on my start menu, and I like it that way. I have several friends that have very much protested the widgets on the start menu, and I understand where you're coming from, and Windows 11 is going to be your friend there because they have completely removed widgets from the start menu and made it its own screen again. So lucky you, you win, I
That
lose.
is sort of
Sorry.
funny. I remember they tried that with the Windows Phone and everybody hated it.
Everybody hated it,
Uh-oh.
yes. Your search box also looks exactly the same as it does in Windows 10. It's just moved a little, and that's really the only difference. Your widget panel looks a lot like the weather panel that you have in Windows 10 now. If you've done your Windows 10 update, you have this little weather panel next to your clock. Takes up space on your taskbar. It's almost impossible to disable. It's really annoying. Slows your computer down. Now that's going to become your widget window. And it is off your taskbar completely now, which I'm happy about in Windows 11. So you just have to click on the widget button. I'm sure you'll be able to disable that whole freaking thing. I'm going to. I don't know how many other users are also going to disable the widgets, but I never use a widget. The only widget I actually would probably need is a calculator, which is built right into the computer, so I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe a weather widget? That's kind of cool, but anyway. I'm done ranting about the widgets. I would play the sound, but I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this. It's so generic. It's actually kind of hard to believe it's Windows. It sounds kind of like something you'd hear from Nintendo or Sony even. It also shows here how Windows is pushing more with the Xbox and kind of combining those two worlds together into one. And that's what I really liked about that, is that it really does show you that. It gives you that option of being able to play that same game instead of on my Xbox. I can sit on my computer and play it with my keyboard and mouse. So I will post this link to you guys in the source page list for you guys, so you guys can click on this and go through all the fun leaks that happen. But again, I think Windows or Microsoft is definitely going to be coming out later this year. Or, I mean, obviously in the next week, they're going to come out and be like, oh my gosh, this is all the cool new things, plus all the stuff that you didn't hear about from that leak, they're going to be explaining as well. I'm sure there is going to be AI built into Windows 11 way more than they are demonstrating already. Like guaranteed, there's going to be some kind of AI, either Cortana and or just routines or something like that. I'm not sure what to call it, but they'll have something. They always do, and it's been getting way better. So I'm excited to see what they come up with, and fingers crossed. I think for the 24th is when that. I think
8 days.
24th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll find out in 8 days.
Oh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited. Anyway, so I did get a chance to build a computer for my sister this weekend, and I wanted to show the slideshow of that here. This was a pretty cool build. I know I did a computer hardware video main episode one already, which is the main reason why I'm bringing this up, is that this hardware is so new. I really wish I could have done the video and had this in it. Plus, this case is so unique, I had to show it. It has absolutely no walls other than just the one main metal big white part, essentially, and then it has a glass, a plexiglass sheet that goes over it. So this is kind of showing the progression of me building it, and kind of putting it all together here, getting the power supply put on and the motherboard enabled, and that was actually kind of cool because I actually had to take off a few of those metal slabs to put on the NVMe chip, the memory chip, and then you had to put that little metal sleeve back over the top of it, which was actually kind of like a heat sink to help kind of pull the heat away from it. I got a nice picture of the RAM not lit up, and there is pictures of it lighting up later as well. So really cool. Carrie, thank you so much for allowing me to build your machine for you. I very much had a blast doing this in my spare time, and it came out flawless. All of the pieces she ordered separately from different places, not just from like Newegg and Amazon and whatnot, but they all came and they all worked, which is extremely rare for those of you that know how to build computers. Getting all of the parts to work the first time is very rare. That's like rolling a straight 12, with a die with one roll. So that was amazing. Usually you get a part that's dead on arrival or just didn't work right or something. And for some reason I'm missing some of the pictures. It didn't post them all for whatever reason, unfortunately. Let me see if I can upload the one of it lit up, because that's probably the coolest part.
It is a very unique case. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's super cool. I was really impressed with how it turned out. Let me see if I can just find it really quick. And that was in the downloads folder. But lit up, it looks pretty cool. Let me try to get this on the screen here. This picture is enormous. Sorry, everybody. Bear with me here. Ta-da! So, as you can see, the plexiglass is kind of what is preventing it from kind of collecting any extra fingerprints and dust on the screen. But the whole thing lights up. Your heatsink lights up, your CPU, the LED string around the outside is all controlled by the computer as well. And again, it took me about one whole day really to put this together. It didn't take that long. It really wasn't too bad. I thought it would take a lot longer than that, but surprisingly, I was able to get through it pretty quickly. I got a side shot here. I'm going to try and get uploaded as well really quickly so you guys can see that one. I know Carrie, my sister, has not actually fully... I've sent these pictures to her, but she has not seen it in person yet. She's coming to pick it up today. I was going to try to do the broadcast on it, but I didn't want to screw up her computer settings just to have my broadcast done for the afternoon. As much as I love her to death, I didn't want to put her through that. So here's a side picture of it, so you can kind of see the heat sink glowing and changing color. The one thing that doesn't light up was the graphic card did not light up at all, which is kind of a downer. But you don't really need a graphic card to light up when you've got all these other lights and things. I love how the RAM lights up. I thought that was pretty cool. But again, just something I wanted to show you guys is that I'm definitely always still working on keeping up to date with the technologies and things, obviously, which is one reason why we do this show and one reason why I wanted to bring this out. I'll also be getting some computer upgrades for myself from my sister, thankfully. And they're not necessarily huge upgrades, but hopefully we'll be getting a smoother picture and better quality videos for you guys in the future, since our software will be getting better. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got for you guys today. I didn't know if I was hoping we'd have more interaction with some viewers about E3 and some comments, but nothing has popped up, which is okay. That's totally fine, and I
We'll probably get
appreciate
some
it.
after the fact, I think.
Oh yes. If you guys have questions about the black holes or SpaceX, E3, Windows 11, any of that stuff, definitely just let us know. Hit us up in our comments and questions, and definitely let us know what you know. Maybe you want us to do a full episode on something. We can totally do that too. So just let us know, guys. I appreciate everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And hopefully we all learned something new today. I know I did. But I appreciate you, everybody. You have a great one, and we will see you all later.